David,
Al, how are you doing, brother?
good, my friend. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate you having me on today.
I appreciate it too, my friend. How about I open the show and I'll get right with you.
Absolutely.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the No Cover TV podcast. That's right. This is your host, Big Al. And what I do is take that original local and national music and I just kind of shove it in your face, maybe slap you around a little bit because you need to hear it. There's a lot of great music out there around the world of all genres and all age groups. And I feel it's my job to bring it to you. I've been doing it since 1997 from TV to DJ to podcast. Let's keep it going, everybody. So, what I'd like you to do is turn that radio down just a hair or maybe off. Stick your head out that window, take a listen because there's a lot of great music on your block next door. There are artists all over the place with some great music. We've got a great show for you today. Stay tuned because what I do is I get in the artist's head. We want to know what they're about, and I leave it up to you to check out their music. Before I get to my guest, we got to thank our sponsor, Rip Music out of Grand Rapids in Holland, Michigan, the music store. Great music store, been around for quite a long time. Go to the music store in Grand Rapids, Michigan, buy one of the No Cover TV guitar picks. That's your 10% off all the time for accessories. And you might be able to talk them into a sweet deal on something else. Just keep mentioning No Cover TV and Big Al. Yeah, just keep doing that. So we want to thank Rip Music for always supporting the original local and national music scene. It's incredible. It is incredible, the music that is out there. Bands, artists, you want to get a hold of me. No Cover TVs on Facebook. Me, Al Brady, I'm on Facebook. You can email me at nocovertv@yahoo.com. And if you do the Instagram, No Cover TV one if you'd like, or Jeeper 616. Hey, you pick account you want to go to. All right. But I'm going to get that music out to you any way I can end the story. Yes, I'm looking forward to this show today. We have an amazing guest in the house, and he's right next door to us, actually. David Rangel's in the house out of Wisconsin. David, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Al. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. Got a little sniffle going on here, but it's Michigan.
Sure. I understand.
We got quite a lot to talk about, my friend.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm going to bombard you today. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
So, David Rangel's in the house out of Wisconsin. You're out of Milwaukee area, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's a suburb of Milwaukee called Greenfield, but yeah, it's about
Pretty much the
15 minutes
same.
outside of downtown. Yeah, so it's Milwaukee.
Let's call it Milwaukee area there. So, David
Right.
Rangel is a singer songwriter. He's done a lot of solo stuff. He's done a lot of stuff that we're going to cover, and is in a band called the Systems Lights Band, an indie rock pop band, aren't you?
Yeah, actually, it's called the System Lights. I kind of add the band aspect on it just for the website. Yeah, because
All
sometimes when
right.
people search for it, they get lighting systems from Mars and things like
You
that.
never
So,
know what you're going to get.
yeah, technically, it's just the System Lights.
System Lights. Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the band, and we're going to talk a little bit about you personally because you've done some
Sure.
amazing things. Amazing things. So, what I'd
Thanks.
like to do, David, I want to get in your
Mhm.
head. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, everybody gets to go on the time capsule, and you're not. You're going with me.
All right, I'm
So,
looking forward to it. I'm
all
intrigued.
right. Let's take a journey. All right. Let's take a ride. Where do we want to go? I want to go back to, and I'll make you a little older here. 15 years old. What are you
Sure.
listening to? What are you listening to, David?
Wow, that was that age was definitely a transition time for me. I was kind of leaving the classic rock stuff that I'd been following since I got into music really young, probably about 7 years old.
7 years old.
So all the classic rock stuff, I was still digging it, but was making the transition into more like punk music and new wave and alternative type stuff at that time.
Okay. Was there any artist in particular that you were listening to that you grabbed onto?
Yeah, for sure.
Who was
Um,
that?
the Ramones. I would say,
Ramon.
yeah, they were probably the first non mainstream or classic rock band, whatever you'd like to call it, that I got into. And just finding out about that kind of led me down a path to all sorts of different things.
Okay. So it led you down a great path. Now, I want to know how old were you when you picked up your first instrument and what was it?
Well, it's funny that you say that. I have historically been just a singer and lyricist. Um, I've been in bands with different people, but how I
Okay.
would go about writing the songs, I would play chords on the piano and then basically turn those over and work with a real guitarist that could help me bring those things to life. Now, it's only really been in the last, I'd say 2 years that I picked up the guitar just out of necessity. I was just, tired
Really?
of, yeah, I was just kind of tired of waiting for guitarists. When I have ideas in my head, I want to get them out there. So I
Yeah.
just kind of forced myself to learn guitar. I can't say
Okay.
I'm a great guitarist now, but at least I can put chords together, write songs, and hand them over to a real guitarist.
Oh, that's great. So you know the basics pretty much, and you're working on those.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. So let's, let's move along here. What age did you start performing or playing with a band?
I was pretty late, actually. I really didn't start playing live. I think my first live thing was in college. So I would have been about 22 years old. It was at the
Okay.
UW-Madison Memorial Union. And
Mm,
so I was definitely a late bloomer when it came to performing.
you were early. Doesn't seem like that, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Now, I was going to talk about this in just a little bit, but you
Sure.
mentioned you went to college and stuff,
Yeah.
and you studied music, didn't you? Music journalism.
No, actually, I mean, I'm really I love music journalism. It's a thing with me to this day. But I was actually in school for political science the first time around, and I
All
went
right.
back to school and started studying journalism years later,
Okay.
years after the first graduation.
All right. So yeah, it's kind of that political course, a little tough one there.
Yeah, I found out it just wasn't for me. It was really interesting to study for sure. But
Oh, I
I
bet.
did some time at the state capitol working various jobs, and I just found that the partisanship and everything going on just wasn't really for me.
That's you. Now, well, I'm glad you're a musician and an artist because you're one heck of one.
Well,
Definitely.
thank you so much.
So, everybody on podcast land, David Rangel's in the house. You need to check out the music, definitely. And before I get to you, platforms, where can we find you?
Well, I am kind of just getting started. I've been kind of out of the music scene physically. The System Lights for the last 10 or so years has really been something that existed only online. Now, we did play some live shows um, initially when the band first started, but those weren't very many. And I had
Right.
some things come up that kind of took me off of music, some kind of mental health issues that
No,
have, thank God, been taken care of. And I'm all about. I'm ready to get back out into the world and play live and things
that's
like
great,
that.
bro.
So right now it's pretty limited. We're on YouTube
Okay.
and we're on things like Instagram. I really need to pay more attention to that stuff. It's just not something I'm into because I just want to do the music.
All
But the
right.
systemlightsband.com is our website where you can get a
System.
lot of the stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Now, are we still with the band or are you working more towards solo?
No, actually, the System Lights has kind of been me solo all along. I mean, I would
Oh,
be
has
the
it?
one writing the songs, and I'd have a great array of people, pals, and other musicians playing along with me in the studio. So it's more
They're
or less
good.
been a project of mine with other friends contributing to it and not a steady
Very
lineup.
okay. Okay. Well, you're a hot commodity. You are a wonderful singer and songwriter.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's incredible. I was set back. Boy, I like that. Now, let's talk music here.
Yeah,
Wow.
always.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm hearing a few things with your music, and I'm going to say I hear some little British American influences on that.
Yeah, you'd be absolutely correct for the System Lights project for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that, that stuff has been something I've been into for a long time, whether you're talking about old British music dating back to the British invasion or even current stuff that came out last year or even this year.
Okay. All right. Now, you were able to put together, what was it? I'm reading my wife's writing. I don't know how to read it. What is it? The Big Delay LP.
Yeah, it's been a big
Yeah.
delay, that's for sure. That's an understatement for sure.
Now that was back in what, 2013?
Yeah,
Whoa.
my pal and I were just talking about that the other day. It's been 10 years since we recorded that thing. It's going to come out. I mean, everything is pretty much done on it, and it's going to be coming out very, very soon. It's like I could say it's almost out right now. That's how close it is. But yeah,
Sweet.
as I said, I had some things going on, and there were various times over the last decade where I didn't think I'd be doing music anymore. But
Well, I'm glad you're back.
well, thanks, man. It's great to be back. Just enjoying life, enjoying music. I feel like I'm a 13-year-old that just picked up the guitar, and there's this whole brand new musical world open to me, and I just can't put it down now.
Please don't. I can't wait to hear what's coming next from you, my friend. Now, you're going to bring this up. Are we working on something other than that album?
Yeah, I am actually. A pal of mine in Madison he
Okay.
has a studio, and I mean, you hear about people having studios in their basement, and um, it could consist of a computer and a couple other
Mhm.
things. But my
Exactly.
pal actually really put a lot of effort into building a great studio that could be um, easily be the home of commercial bands. So he and I
Really?
have been doing another project over the last, I want to say it's about 7 months now. We call it Palookas.
Okay.
And
Nice.
that's kind of a different excursion from what the System Lights is. I'm experimenting more with different kinds of sounds, having different instruments I've never used, like
Oh,
accordion, ukulele, and I've had some people come in to collaborate, and that's been great. I've loved I love the collaboration process, and it's a
that's
fun thing to
wonderful.
do.
Yeah, it is to collaborate. Definitely. That is. Do we have an ETA when we might be able to get to hear all that?
Yeah, yeah, it's funny that you say that because people have asked me that same question a number of times over the past 10 years. And I've learned not to give an exact date because, as
There we go.
as
If
you
we
can
run it
understand,
here.
that has fallen through. But I want to say very soon, within the first part of 2024. I mean, we're so far to the top. There's nowhere to go but down and put it out. So that's how close it is.
No, I'm beautiful. So we're looking at 2024 sometime. We're not going to put a month or date on that.
Yes, sir. Very
Looking,
soon. Very, very soon.
looking forward to it. Now, you mentioned you went to your friend's studio there, and you said it pretty much commercial almost. Is it all digital, or is there a little analog in there?
No, actually, the studio I recorded in Minneapolis. Now that is a wonderland for musicians. They have every kind of cool analog pedal and instrument.
Oh,
My buddy's studio, he works primarily with Pro Tools and Logic, which is all
yeah,
digital. Um,
right.
Different vibe, but it's just still just as fun.
Okay, good deal. I mean, I'm an analog guy because I'm old, but
Yeah, I love analog, man, for sure.
I go in the studio and I watch everybody, like say, with Pro Tools, and it's click, 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 and it's these tools and that tools. It's like
Yeah,
amazing. It's very amazing.
it is. It
Hmm.
is. It baffles me, but and I'm glad I have pals that really know their way around it.
I can do the analog, but I have no clue I'm doing when it comes to digital.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
so that is great. So that guitar that you're playing there, what is it?
Well, I write now mostly songs on a Washburn that was given to me back in, wow, I would say it was about 2000. So it's been a long time, and I've had that thing sitting around for a while, and I'd pick it up and mess around with it for a little bit, but never take it too seriously because I just didn't think I would be able to learn to play guitar.
But
And
you did.
yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I wouldn't call myself a guitar player who would play live. I'm going to want somebody playing guitar live with me, and I'm where I don't have to play.
Right. I
But
understand.
yeah, so I have a Washburn and a couple other ones, a couple electric ones that I'm just getting into, and I don't want this to be another one of my collecting things because when I get onto things, I really get into collecting them, and I probably don't need
Oh,
many guitars sitting around, even though it kind of looks like it's starting to go that way.
I have that problem too. Miss Denise, my wife, is joining us today, and she just went around and counted all the guitars that are down in the studio here.
Right.
So I have a problem too.
Yeah, I had a really fortunate situation come up just about 2 months ago. My godfather, who, I've known him since I was a kid, he has been a jazz musician playing out and around Racine, Wisconsin, which is where I grew up. And I
Okay.
had not seen him probably, probably since I was about 12. That was the last time I saw him. And we reconnected with my dad, and we went out for coffee and started talking music. And he wanted me to see his studio. So I went over there and we were doing some stuff. And he told me to pick up the guitar that was sitting behind me. And I did.
Oh,
And I thought, this is a great guitar. It looks cool. It sounds cool. And he just, he's an amazing player. And he said, well, I hope you like it because it's yours. And
oh, really?
I
Wow.
was to the point, like, you do that for a kid, and that's a nice thing to do, but you don't have to do this to Paul Reed Smith guitar. I've really come to like it, and I'm practicing with that just as much as the acoustic now. But
PRS is a great.
so, I can see myself probably falling down that rabbit hole, taking an interest in guitars and pedals.
Oh, yeah.
It could be dangerous, Al, but
Very dangerous. I have the PRS behind me on the wall. Very great guitar.
okay.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love them all.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
just so much to love about music, isn't there?
Oh my goodness, it is, and I like to play my acoustics a lot more than I do my electrics. So, yes. Now, back in the day, you were in some bands.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk just a little bit about that. Wasn't it Oversouls, aka Second Soul?
Yeah, Oversouls, that was honestly a great experience. I mean, it wasn't, in the end, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, and I wasn't what they were looking for. It was led by a guitar method writer. His name is
Oh,
Troy Stetna,
mm,
and he's kind of considered, if you Google his name, he's written many books on
okay.
hard rock guitar technique.
Oh,
And he's looked upon as a really kind of like a god among hard rock
wow.
musicians. I had no idea about that when I was getting into that situation where they were just looking for a singer.
Oh, they're very
But
particular.
yeah, so working with him, like I said, it was definitely a different genre for me. I wasn't used to it, and it wasn't my preference, but I learned a lot recording with
I
him.
bet.
And it was a pretty cool situation. It was fortuitous in the fact that he happened to be connected with people that got us out to play some really good big shows. We were playing
That's
some shows
cool.
with Creed and Shinedown and some other bands like that. Great experience, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, the big stage, definitely.
Hmm.
That is very cool. Now we're right now in the present here.
Hmm.
I noticed you got quite a lot of fans that love you.
Well, that's great. That sounds great. I would welcome anybody, no matter what age, for sure.
Oh, that's amazing out there. The people that are listening, what they're listening to, and they're grabbing a hold of you. Mhm. I'm following you. I'm liking this.
I appreciate
Uh,
that.
so you're just going to grab more followers and followers, and we're getting you around the world. So people out there, get on your cell phones, your PC, your laptops, your stone tablets, anything you chisel with, hook up to the internet and get to the platforms. You want to check out David Rangel and, of course, the System Lights. Oh my goodness, you're going to be surprised at what you hear, and I can't wait for the new LP to come out. Nice. Now, did you do
Thank you.
anything back in the day or now video wise?
Yeah, absolutely. When the System Lights first came about, that was in 2013. So, like I said, about 10 years ago, I have a pal who was, I don't know if he went to school for film, but he had a lot of knowledge in filmmaking and various technical aspects about that. And we made a video together for a song off of the first EP called Ether. So that can be found on YouTube.
Yes.
Lately, I'm still trying to put out music. I'm not making a lot of typical videos, but there's so much you can do with Canva. My girlfriend's really digging into the
Okay.
making of videos and things like that, and she's been helping me out doing that stuff. I have another song that I made about my daughter that another pal of mine, he's a filmmaker, that he helped me do for a song called Elora, which is about my daughter. And, just working with those guys was a great experience too. They knew what they were doing, and everything that they were doing was blowing my mind.
No,
Just great to watch them work and great people to work with. So I can't thank them enough.
that's beautiful. And I got the chance to check out some of the videos.
Okay.
Very professional, very good, very great, I should
Oh,
say.
thanks. Thanks, man.
Amazing, amazing. You are definitely a front man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I wasn't sure if I could actually be that. When I first started playing live, I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to do it. Felt a little awkward back, when you first get on stage, but I guess
Right.
you develop as you do it and get over your fears, right?
You got to get over those fears. And we all have those fears. And we talk about that on the show in different aspects about when you get
Sure.
on stage, dealing with those anxieties, those
Yeah,
fears. Everybody seems to have it before, and once the first song gets going, we kind of lose it.
absolutely. I'm the exact same way. It's a little tense. It's most tense before going on stage. But once you're halfway through that first song, you start to relax and go into who you are and go into your
Yeah,
own stage presence. And then it gets really relaxing. And then you kind of take over in the way that you're trying to do.
right. You kind of not worry about what the audience is thinking. You just do your thing.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm to the point now where, I'm not exactly young. I'm not a 23-year-old brand new front man. So it's to the point I do care what people think and I want people to be entertained. But at the
Nice.
same time, this is what I am right now. So I don't think enough. I don't think as much about that.
Right,
Um,
right. So I'm not going to be able to get you in spandex and jumping like David Lee
no,
Roth.
no, probably he wouldn't have even done that back in the day either. But yeah, probably not that.
Probably not going down that road, people.
Hope
That
not.
was the day. Now we're in the future. Oh, that's great. So you played out the past with these bands and stuff.
Mhm.
Are you doing anything right now sololy? Are you out?
Yeah, I've actually, I will say, that, and this is kind of funny. I had never played guitar in front of anybody, and
Mm,
my girlfriend and I were on the Madison campus taking pictures,
okay.
and I was playing the guitar, and she was across the street trying to get good angles, and I realized that a crowd was gathering, and I was
Oh,
thinking to myself, "Whoa, I better be
here they come.
on track with something because I'd never had that happen before." So uh, that was kind of my first experience playing guitar in front of people. I've been doing some busking lately, just trying to get comfortable um, playing in front of people because I do want to go out in the very near future, like very soon, and play some shows acoustically with just myself or whoever else wants to come on.
That's great. I
I'm
love our
definitely trying
buskers.
to work on that.
Oh, good, good. Busking's great. It's great.
It
I
is. I mean, I
quite.
never knew that world because I never played an instrument. Now I see what everybody loves.
I have a good friend that's a busker. Throws his hat down, does his thing. He loves it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. But you're going farther, my friend. You are going farther than just busking. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Now I want to talk a little bit about some things you're doing. You studied music journalism.
Well, I actually just studied journalism, but that's
Journalism.
got me some training. I'm a music journalist by way of freelance right now.
Gotcha.
I
Oh,
just love to do it.
nice.
So yeah, so the journalism degree helped with that. But we're living in a world where a lot of the good magazines and
Mm-hmm.
written word is kind of dead. I was a little late to the party with that, but I still love
Uh,
to do it. So I'll even just do it for my own entertainment and fulfillment.
well, good. That's good. We don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose that. Now,
Yeah.
popmakers.com. What's that?
I'm sorry.
Popmakers.com. I think
Oh,
that's what I'm
Pop
reading.
Matters. Yeah,
Matters.
yeah,
You're writing.
yeah. So your listeners probably have heard of a few of these. There's a number of main kind of tastemaker websites, glorify like really big blogs, including things like Pitchfork, Brooklyn Vegan, Stereo Gum. Pop Matters is another one. It gets all around the world into many, many people's heads. I just got accepted to write for them. I haven't actually posted anything. It was just recently. But
Oh,
I'm working
man.
on my own blog as well. I kind of brought that back to life, and I'm really getting into that as well. But yeah, Pop Matters, I've got some things in the works right now that I want to submit to them within the next
Beautiful.
couple of weeks. Yeah.
That's great, David. That's great, man. I love it. Now, you also did voiceovers.
I did. And that world too, it's such a, if you can get the work, it's amazing. I mean, I love just being in a vocal booth. And
Hmm.
I mean, I would almost do this stuff for free, Al.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when you get these gigs where you're actually getting paid money to do that, something that you love so much, it is freaking amazing. But it's really hard to get those gigs. I've only done two, but
Okay.
yeah,
But
I'm constantly trying to network with people and see if I can get more work. 'Cause that's all I
that's
can
the
really
big.
do. I feel kind of like an alien in the world of online promotion. So I'm just taking it a little at a time.
That's what you, there's so much now. What do you think of nowadays versus back then? We got all these platforms, and now it's not like putting posters up and stuff like that. What do you think about nowadays?
Well, I'm not going to be this middle-aged grumpy guy that says, "Well, this all sucks nowadays, and it was better back in my day." There's definitely pros and cons of both.
Of
I think,
course.
obviously, you can get your stuff out there to people um, way more quickly than you ever could. I think,
Exactly.
I mean, the music industry and streaming and things like that have taken over, and they now kind of have a monopoly, obviously, on what
Yeah.
they can pay artists. And it's just, you have to do music these days just because you love it. If you're going into it to try and make money,
Yeah.
it's most likely not going to work. But there's something to be said about older days prior to the big advent of the internet, prior to 2000, where it was word of mouth, and
It
it was a
was.
little more intriguing. You couldn't just draw up something and have it right in front of you. So, I used to love tracking down music that I'd heard about and going to record stores and not having it right in front of me. Like the thrill of the hunt was great.
It
So,
was.
yeah. So,
I can
like I
remember
said
when the
before,
songs.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I can remember when songs would come out. It's like, when can you hit the music store as fast as you can to find that cassette?
Right, right. Or you would read something about a record in NME and you're just waiting a couple weeks so you can go and get that record. You don't know what it is other than the short description you read about somewhere. And I used to wait in anticipation for that stuff, and
Mm,
that's something I'm kind of sorry that's been lost, because it's something that kids nowadays won't really know.
yeah, they won't be able to experience that, which is sad. I know it's right at your fingertips now. It is. Yes, which is a
Yeah,
good
but
thing
that's what
too.
they know, so it's not weird to them.
True. Very true. Very true. Now, I want to get to some songs before I hit you up with some
Sure.
other questions. All right. I would like to say checking out the videos and stuff. My
Yeah.
world, your pace.
My world, your faith. Uh huh.
I love that.
Thank
Talk to
you.
me about that video.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to. I don't want to be one of these artists that constantly puts songs out where everything is about relationships. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I kind of had this inspiration by a guy named Richard Ashcroft, and he put something out that was very personal to him. And I don't know. I just kind of got the vibe and started going with it. And I don't want to make it too cliche and lovey-dovey, but it was something that it's loosely based on something that was actually going on in my life.
Okay.
Some of
Well,
it not, and some of it was.
okay. It's a
So
great video, great song. It is.
thanks, thanks.
Definitely. And the next one you mentioned earlier, Ether. That was a great song to a video.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's my buddy Oren. He did some great stuff with film. I'm not sure if he's still doing that these days, but yeah, I was happy to get him on there.
Yeah, the production was unbelievable. And of course, the music. Incredible.
Thanks.
Now, do you plan on doing some videos for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I am to the point where I guess I'm pretty comfortable playing acoustically, and I'm finding that it's not so bad to have some flaws. Nowadays with Pro Tools, you can make everything pristine, perfect.
Hmm.
And some of the bands I've actually liked in the past were bands that kind of flaunted their flaws. Lo-fi bands like Guided by Voices, if you're familiar with them at all.
Hmm.
Other things where there are a lot of happy accidents going on.
Right. Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said about that. So I'm now to the point where I'm confident enough where I can have somebody film me playing a potential new song and put it out there and see what people think and not have to worry that it's 100% robotic perfect.
Perfect. You're
So
a human being. Exactly. Make it sound that way. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, I'm looking at one of my notes here, and this word's popping out to me. Awards.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got some awards, and you're nominated and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, actually, Al, you probably know about that as much as I do. I, to this day, I honestly, to this day, I don't know how we were nominated for Band of the Year and Video of the Year. I can see because
Video of the year.
Oren's a great video shooter of video and creator in that sense. But how we got nominated, I think I think the EP had probably been out to the public maybe about a month or two when we got that
Mm,
nomination. So I honestly don't know how we ended up, and we ended up going to the banquet. We didn't win, but just to even be on there
just
was
to be there.
a beyond
That.
pleasant surprise. Which, yeah, and there was another one out in L.A., an award show that I had not even heard of, and I was only notified of it after it had taken place. So
After it
who
was.
knows? I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of an alien around the world of social media and
Oh,
technology.
oh,
So
boy, they're going to be knocking your door down after I send this out. Oh yeah, out there you got check David Rangel out, everybody. Oh yes, indeed, my friend. So you're talking about collaborations. That's a lot of
yeah,
fun. Yeah,
yeah.
you see that coming up in the future, collaborating with more people.
Absolutely. The project I mentioned before with my pal in Madison, it's called Palookas. And so
Lucas.
far we've had, let me see, I think we've had about 3 or 4 musicians who are not part of our situation that are just coming in to put down things. We've had a accordion player come in. I've had a female backing vocalist who also
Mm,
played ukulele on a couple of songs. And I'm really loving just not being the only person on these records, and the female vocals in this particular song I'm talking about. I'm really happy with them. So
good.
yeah, I'm getting as many collaborators. I've actually reached out to some other people, and I'm hoping that we can get that going and have a lot of
Sweet.
collaborators for that first Palookas record.
Oh, awesome. I love it, man. And I'm sure they want to work with you too.
Yeah,
Most
I
definitely.
think they do. Yeah, it's been a great situation. We've had great chemistry so far, and I love collaboration more than I do just writing stuff on my own. Actually,
There you go.
I've always loved
Good.
that idea of the band as a gang, and you're 4 or 5 people out there against the world. I still love that.
Right.
That's kind of that's the kid
That
in me
is
that will never go away.
will never go away. Never go away. Well, I got some questions I'm going to ask you right here.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see the first one. Okay. You've been on the big stage, small stage. You've seen it.
Mhm.
All right. When you're on, you get on a stage, you were nervous and stuff. And when you started, you lost that. But when you
Yeah.
started, things are going good. You
Mhm.
look out in the audience, you see them dancing, moving, singing your songs possibly, and it bounces
Mhm.
back. How does it make David's heart feel?
Oh, it makes my heart feel great. I mean, obviously, I'm sure Al.
Yes, I do.
All of us as musicians have some kind of ego. And when we see people responding to something that we're doing, we feed off that, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we
So,
do.
I mean, there are nothing but good vibes and feelings when I see stuff like that. And it just inspires me to get more into it and less nervous. And
There
just,
you go.
I feel like I'm in an element that I can control. Um,
Yeah,
and,
you got
people,
the audience in control pretty much with your music.
yeah. And
Mhm.
it's just, I'm not relying on anybody but myself. So, I mean, as far as my own performance, I'm talking about.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I
That's
feed off
amazing.
that stuff to answer your question and make a a long
Beautiful.
story long.
Well, it's great because it makes your heart big, and what you're doing and producing and performing is making their heart big. So it's a two-edged sword there. I like it.
Yeah, I'm hoping it goes that way when I start to play out again.
Definitely. It's nice when people, they work, they bust their butts for 8 to 10 hours, they get out, they see you for an hour, two, three, possibly. They
Yeah.
forget about that world. It's cool. Real cool. It is. It is. So, other questions coming up now.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to this one right here. Okay, you're done with your set. It's over. You're walking back behind the stage, putting gear away. You go home. How long does it take David to unwind?
How long does it take me to unwind? It's usually not very long because I like to enjoy a drink, beer or a cocktail after coming off stage.
Understand.
Um, I've been to the point now for many years where I won't do any of that
Okay.
before going on. So
Mm-hmm.
just relaxing with something like that and absorbing it all and thinking about what was good and what was bad, talking to band members about it or having people come up and having conversations with them. It's a pretty
That's
relaxing
great.
experience. So I like
That's
to be out and
good.
about talking to people after shows. Um, and
That,
I'll take any criticism that comes my way, whether it's good or bad, because I think all of it is constructive at this point.
it is. And I know a lot of artists will get off the stage and they don't come back out. It's like, I
Right,
love it
right.
that you come back out and talk to the audience. That
Well,
is,
I mean, they're the people that make you, and they're what are enabling you to do something that you love. And
yes,
I've always loved bands when they would come off stage and have good conversations with people. It's a good way to meet people too, and people with common interests. And
exactly. And you just don't know who's out there, whose door you might knock down.
right, right.
You just don't know. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of questions here. I love these answers too.
Uh-huh.
All right. Who could you think of? I'll give you two people.
Sure.
Anybody in the world, dead or alive, that you'd like to perform with?
Wow. That is a question. You might as well have asked me what's my favorite band because it's such a
Oh,
difficult
no.
answer. But I will say one who is kind of here doing it now. He's been around for a while. His name is Ben Gibbard from a band called Death Cab for Cutie.
All
Um,
right.
I just love that guy's stuff. His lyrics are very literate, and yet he can put really cool, accessible pop melodies to this kind of deep material. And I've always loved pretty much everything he's done out within Death Cab for Cutie and outside of his outside in his regular projects.
No, I hope he hears this. Yes, indeed. I might have to send him a message. Oh,
Yeah,
my.
I think I'm prone to singers and songwriters that obviously are readers. I'm a big reader myself. I love it.
Are you?
And
Wow.
just yeah, people like Ben Gibbard, Adam Duritz, also from
Mhm.
Counting Crows.
Yep.
I was listening to a podcast of his, and I think he said he'd read 5,000, 10,000 books before the age of 8. And if you look
Oh,
at his lyrics, I would believe it.
geez.
I don't think he's
Wow.
exaggerating. But
That's a
yeah, I
lot of
just love
books.
singers like that. So,
Wow.
I mean, those are kind of two that come to mind right away, but there are so many others that, Noel Gallagher of
Yeah,
Oasis. The guy's a genius doing so much with minimal chords. There's just a lot. It's a really hard question to answer.
that's a big list. It is a big list.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm going to give you another question like that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anywhere in the world, there's a lot of stages everywhere.
Yeah.
Two stages you'd really like to perform on.
Wow. Well, like I said, I've been prone over the last number of years, decades, to British style music. Even though I'm
Yeah.
kind of branching out, that's been a solid one for me for a long time. And a lot of the bands that I love in that genre and from over there have played at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, big, big. Yes, Wembley Stadium. How about one more stage?
Probably Red Rocks. That looks like
Yes.
such just a great atmosphere, and just very unusual and just really conducive to great art and great music and good vibes, really.
It's a real cool place. I was able to visit there and step on stage, and those acoustics are amazing.
Oh, I bet they are. I've actually never
Oh,
been there myself, but at this point, I'm looking forward to playing on any stage very soon.
very soon, David Rangel, everybody out there in podcast land is going to be in your face. I'm going to put him in your face. I am indeed, David. We are already at 40 minutes. I can't believe that. Let me get a few more questions in
Really?
here.
Wow, that did go
Yeah,
fast.
I know. We got a lot to talk about, my friend.
Sure.
So now, if this came along, I want to ask you this question. If a label came along, would you sign it or do you want to stay independent?
Wow. Again, a really hard question to answer. I still think that labels are good for some things, even
Mm-hmm.
though the major label system and that whole dream of getting signed to something like that and having them help you is gone. I would probably say at this point, no. I think there's just so much more control that you can have
Right.
when you don't do something like that. And honestly, it seems to me uh, that the big label systems are for people who are just phenomenal, putting out multitudes of records. People like Michael Jackson and Madonna. I mean, those are
Yeah.
obviously a little
Big
bit dated
labels.
references, but there is something still to be said about labels. Dead Oceans is an independent label, but they still get their artists out to a lot of people. Phoebe Bridgers is on there.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so I would have to say probably no at this point. That would have been
No,
my dream 15 years ago for sure.
okay. Right on. Well, yeah, do it your way, man. Do it your way 'cause you're doing a great job. You're doing a
Thank
great
you.
job. Now, I'm seeing this. I don't pretty much have to ask or answer the question, but you're going to answer it for me.
Sure.
You want to do this full time, don't you?
I do want to do this full time. I'm at the point where my daughter is about to graduate high school this year, so she will be out of the house and out of the state.
Oh,
So I've been staying around here. Her mom and I um, have been doing great with these kids together. I mean, co-parenting. It's been a great situation, but really, there's
beautiful.
not a lot of reason for me to stay around here. I'm not sure really where I want to go yet, but I do want to do this full time, or at least to the point where even if I'm still working a job, which is
Yeah.
highly probable, if not absolutely for sure, I want to be playing out as much as I possibly can, and not just in the general area where I am living.
Okay. Would you want to hop on a plane and go over to UK and perform for a while?
Absolutely,
There you
absolutely.
go.
I have a pal who is in Scotland. I've never actually met him in real life, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing how you can meet people from completely different walks of life, thousands of miles away across a big ocean, and have so much to talk about. But he and
It's
I have actually
incredible.
been talking about playing somewhere together, whether it's over here or over there. And I'd like to think that's going to happen sometime.
I hope so, my friend. And I deal with musicians and artists all over the world, and we talk music. I don't understand them, I grunt.
Right.
We
Yeah, it's
talk
become
music.
such a small world, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Everybody who has your same interests, no matter how far away they're from, there's so much to talk about. And
There
that's
is.
one of the great
It's,
things about the internet.
oh, yeah, it has its good things and downfalls. Oh, of course. Of course,
Absolutely. I
definitely.
would say so as well.
All right, David. So much to talk about. Well, we're almost at the 45 mark, but I want to know future. Kind of laid it out a little bit, but where you want to see yourself 5, 10 years with all your music?
I would like to see myself, like I said, making some kind of living, not having to work a day job. Um,
Yeah,
and I know it's still possible. It's
it is.
becoming more and more rare, but something like that would be so fulfilling for me right now. I've been through
Beautiful.
the whole experience being young and wanting to do all this stuff that is, you know, probably big pipe dreams, but just to entertain people and make my living a comfortable, decent, you know, modest living off of doing that and just getting that fulfillment and being able to concentrate on just making art and not having
Yeah,
to concentrate on another job just to pay the
right.
bills. I mean, that's my dream right now.
I think that's going to happen. I really foresee that happening. Yeah. And Miss Denise just wrote a question down that she'd like to ask me to ask you.
Sure.
Who would you like to open for?
Who would I like to? Wow. You're coming at me with these questions. I could give you a million answers.
We don't have that much time.
Who would I like to open for? Well, I'm probably going to go back to Oasis. I mean, I've gone through phases with them. I was an Oasis fanatic for a long time in the 90s, and I listened to almost nothing but, and, kind of gravitated away from them. That really can't happen. They're not together anymore, but
right. That was great music.
That would be a dream gig. There's so many components about that band that I just absolutely love, and it would have been just an amazing experience to play with them when they were in their prime.
Together. Yeah. Great, amazing band, Oasis. And David Rangel, amazing artist. You are, brother. You are. So everybody in podcast land, again, check out David Rangel. And then where can they find you again real quick?
Well, probably the easiest is the systemlightsband.com. I'm going to be expanding with all the social media stuff. I've got some people that are going to help me out because this new record is coming out. But yeah, as of right now, that would probably be the best place to check.
Beautiful, beautiful. Check out David Rangel. You're not going to be disappointed. Listen. And of course, my 3 favorite words, everybody, is what? Support, support, support your local and national music scene. It's a lot of great music. What do you think about all that music out there?
I love it. I just, I love sifting through things that I don't know about. And obviously with the internet going on, there are many, many things. I used to think of myself as having an encyclopedic knowledge of music, but there's so much stuff out there now, you just can't keep up with it all. So there's always very, very pleasant surprises that you're not even aware of.
Oh, there is. David, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've become a fan of the show, and it's been great talking to you. I really appreciate it. You too, my friend. And I'm going to get back with you in 6 months or so. I want to see where it's at. Maybe a year. We'll see. Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep in touch. I'm all for that. We are going to stay in touch. We are going to stay in touch, definitely. So everybody out there, again, check out David Rangel and the systemlightsband.com. Go there. Check out the music. You're going to dig it. We're at almost 48 minutes, people. We're pushing it. We don't want the computer to blow up. Oh, we do not. It does smoke. David, it's your show. It is your show. How you want to end it? Who you want to thank? What do you want to shout out to? Wow. I just want to shout out and give a big thanks to everybody who has helped me out playing on my records. Whatever my sound is right now and whatever people view that music is, it wouldn't be that without some amazing musicians that I never thought I would get to work with. So anybody really who supports the band too. Beautiful. In your debt. That's great, David. Thank you so much. Everybody, I thank you for checking out the No Cover TV podcast. It's about the artist, the music, the original music, where I get to tell the story. You get to check out the music because I know you're not lazy. You're going to do it, right? Yes, you are. Because I don't want to come through the computer and make you. No, that's why they call me Big Al. Yes. David, my friend, you're just next door in Wisconsin. I hope to see a person face to face someday. Absolutely, brother. Hopefully sooner than later. I definitely agree on that, my friend. So you take care of yourself and everything. Keep producing. I will keep making those great songs. All right, brother? Thank you so much, Al. Really appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. Check out the next episodes. We got so much more. We are already booked up to April. It is amazing. So many bands around the world and America that want to come on No Cover TV because we want to get your music and story out there. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So, everybody, again, check out David Rangel and the System Lights Band. David, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it as well. It's been great to talk to you. You too, brother. We'll stay in touch. All right. All right. Take care, Al. Take care. We're out of here, everybody. Till next time. This is Big Al. Peace. Bye.